All right, guys, how's it going? It's Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. We're about 6:30 p.m. Eastern. About to get into today's analysis. Another great day. Guys, those payout requests I put in yesterday for Topstep hit my Wise account, as you can see on the screen, today. So that was really sweet. Within 24 hours, Topstep just nailed it, delivered super fast. So I put in the request yesterday and literally less than 24 hours later, bang, the money's into my Wise account, which is awesome. And now today, I've just put in that third request. As I said, I had a lot of confidence that I was going to get my last $200 day on that account. I did. Let's go ahead and bring that up for all the skeptics. Boom, 3,500. So I just put in this payout request about 5 minutes ago, and I'm sure that'll come into my Wise account tomorrow as well. So awesome. Continue to take payouts. That's what it's all about. Using Vol Pro Edge. Guys, living a blessed life. If you work hard, live on the beach in Costa Rica, surf, just basically trade, enjoy your time, and enjoy life. That's what it's all about, really. All right, so that's the Wise and the Topstep and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and jump over to the analysis, starting with ES here. So with ES, yeah, guys, just being on the right side of the market the majority of the time is going to help you to avoid unnecessary losses. And avoiding those unnecessary losses is what's going to shift you into profitability quicker than anything. If you can remove 90 to 95% of the really dumb, bad trades against the higher time period direction, you're going to be on your way to profitability much faster than you ever thought possible. And using Vol Pro Edge, that's exactly what we do. We make sure that we're on the right side of the market the majority of the time. Not all the time, right? But the majority of the time, because the levels work, the indicators are awesome. Use the multiple time period analysis. You're just on the right side of the market. So it just makes trading a lot easier when you're on the right side of the market. I can't stress that enough. All right. So looking at ES today, what I said yesterday in yesterday's analysis video here after that big pump up, because remember, I said, hey, I thought there'd be a lot of resistance here. It turns out there wasn't, and we blasted straight up and through that. So I said, guys, this is all support now. Do not short this market. If you get a pullback here to, 57.80, 57.60, sure, you could look to get long. It didn't get there, but if you were focusing on the long side of the market, you were correct. You stayed out of a lot of potential losses trying to short this market. So that's what's important, okay? Be on the right side of the market, make your life easier. All right, let's make sure my OBS is recording here. I believe it is. There it is. It's picking it all up. I love it. All right, if you're not on the waiting list, go to volproedge.com. The waiting list is closing within a day or two because we are launching, baby. I can't wait to start live streaming with you guys, live trading. The indicator is going to be ready very, very soon. Had a good chat with my programmer today, so we're getting ready to rock and roll, guys. I'm super excited. All right. So with ES pushing up here today, look, we're still very, very, very bullish here. You've got a lot of support now coming in on ES. I'd say your first support level is right in here at about 5,800. And then your second one, you got a lot of support down here at 57.85. So just call it 80 to 90. I mean, anywhere down here, guys, is a gift to get long. That's how I'm going to be looking at this. I would not be shorting this market. Now, when I say I would not be shorting this market, it doesn't mean there aren't going to be like good little intraday short opportunities, but that's not how I operate. I know that the probabilities, the odds are stacked in my favor, you know, to a huge degree when I'm trading with these higher time period directional biases, right? So the bias now is to the upside. You don't really want to trade against that, okay? So be careful with that. I think ES is going to want to squeeze up here and test these yellow dots at 58.60. The weekly is squeezing. So I think we're in squeeze city, baby. That's how I look at the ES. Let's look at NQ. Let this puppy load. Just had a major, major rainstorm here in Costa Rica. Now the sun's coming out. It's beautiful. But man, it was pouring down. We had lightning, thunder. I was going to do the analysis a little bit earlier, but with the thunder, I wanted to unplug everything just to make sure the sockets didn't get zapped and fry all my my gear here. That wouldn't have been fun. All right, so NQ has now loaded. Let's go ahead and drag this over here. It's the same kind of situation, guys. We're in squeeze city right now. You know, 20,400 is your first line of support there at the true average. If that breaks, you got a ton of support there at, 20,300. I would not look to short this market, right? I would just look at my intraday system, which we will be doing in the live trading room, and those would be the levels I'd be looking to get long. And the most important thing is, guys, yesterday I told you, like looking at all the charts, it's way back to risk on, right? I said favor the long side on ES, favor the long side on NQ. It's clear we're squeezing, and I don't think the squeeze is over, right? The squeeze is on, okay? So I think you got to, look at it from that perspective. Just be careful. Now, look, might we get a correction like this tomorrow? Bang, and really pull back hard and set up. Sure, that could happen, guys, but that's why you got to watch your intraday levels. Right now, yeah, you're running into some resistance here for sure, but I think support is stronger because we broke through all that weekly resistance, which is now support, which is coming in down in here. So, I'd be looking to buy this market. That's what I would be looking to do. All right, let's go ahead and remember, we're going to cover the Dow, the Russell, all that stuff once we launch. I just don't have the time for it right now. Let's look at the 10-year. The 10-year today, I don't know what it did because I haven't looked yet, but I know last night in the analysis video, I said I expected this support here at 110 and a half. That's 110, 16, 30 seconds. I expected it to, be weak and break. Yeah, we punched through, pulled back, and now it looks like we're headed lower. So I think you got to continue to look short on the bond complex here, which means risk off in this particular situation. The correlations are always changing, you guys, right? But just for right now, if the bond market is selling off a little bit, maybe this market is comfortable where it's at, stocks are squeezing. I think that this is a good omen for stocks to continue to squeeze higher with the bonds selling off a little bit, but not uncontrollably. They're just kind of leaking back down. Okay. All right. Let's look at gold. I know I said gold and silver. I thought they'd be good shorts yesterday. Let's see what happened. Again, I haven't checked these since I did the analysis last night. I got my $200 day on this account that I'm putting in the payout request for. I got that on the NASDAQ today. So when we trade in the live trading room, definitely gold and silver would have been two of my markets to look to short today into some key levels. And I think we talked about that, right? Here's gold. I think I said, right up there into the middle of the Vol Pro Edge envelope here on the daily, right there. I said that's where all your stuff is stacking resistance. I think maybe I said, 30 up into 40. Look, there's your zone, right? You could pick off. I guarantee you the intraday charts gave you a really good short up in there, right? And now it's looking bearish. Now you got a nice, you're rolling over. I think you got to continue to want to short this market here on gold for sure. Let's look at silver, probably much of the same as well. All right, well, silver ended up squeezing. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I can't remember what I said about silver yesterday. I said watch that. If I recall correctly, you guys go check the video. You can see what I said. I think what I said was that's your key support level with silver. If we start to break through that, I would look for some serious follow through to the downside. Guess what? We didn't break. It held, right? So these are the things you're going to see in the live trading room. I wasn't as nuts, I don't think, about that 33.80 level on silver. It's not a bad level, but I'm sure you could probably see as we started to squeeze up and through there, we were pushing higher. Not that trading is easy or perfect, but when you use these levels and you use all the analysis, it works pretty darn well. So the question is, what's silver doing now? I mean, that is a pretty good little reversal right there. You're into a lot of resistance right now, for sure. I mean, it's hard to say, but I'd be looking to play the short side on silver. I really would be. I know you squeezed right there, but we did hold this key resistance level on close. I would just be looking, if I was trading silver intraday, which I would be with this pattern for sure, during New York, I'd be looking, if these highs are holding heading into New York and my intraday system gives me good shorts up in here, I'd be looking for continuation down back like that. But look, if Asia starts to punch up like here, it just tells you the short is off, right? So this is how you got to use these charts to set up your intraday strategy. So you know you have your daily zones, you have your weekly zones, your monthly zones, you've got your directional bias, and then just let the intraday charts tell you if it's respecting that level or not, right? Like you don't really have to guess that much. You just have to use the analysis, pick your spots, take your shots, and the probabilities will take care of themselves, eliminating a lot of the losers by getting rid of the dumb, impatient trades. Trading on the right side of the market most of the time is going to help you a lot. It's all these little variables that come into place to get you to consistent profitability. All right, let's go ahead and look at. I don't think anyone cares about crude right now. I don't really feel like covering crude right now. Let's look at the euro against the dollar, finish off with Bitcoin, and we'll call it a day. It definitely looks to me like the indices want to continue to squeeze. It's looking like risk on. Gold looked to have a pretty decent short pattern. Silver's got some resistance there. I'd keep an eye on that. So kind of the same theme as yesterday. All right, so here is the euro against the dollar. We can see the daily. I said I expected a little bit of support in here for a push back up. Yeah, it wasn't really wrong. We did have some support. We pushed a little bit, but we continue to trend lower here. You know, that's kind of tough to read there, but I still think you've got a lot of support. You got all these dots kind of stacking up here. So I'd probably still be looking for the euro to rally. Let's see what happens. Not really something I trade, not something I'd bet on. Let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin to wrap it up. And just to summarize, guys, you know, I know that most of you guys trade ES and NQ. That's what you trade, right? So that's where all my analysis is focused as well, because that's what I like to trade is, you know, most of the time. But we will trade these other markets occasionally in the live trading room when we have really good setups on top picks based on all the markets. Because once we launch, I'm going to go through platinum, copper, corn, wheat. I mean, we're going to find some really good opportunities in markets that you would have never expected. I'm going to show you how to trade those in the live day trading room, right? But for now, it looks pretty risk on. The markets are recovering nicely. It looks like they want to continue to squeeze. So that's probably the way to play it, and try to stay on the right side of the market by not stepping in front of a freight train and shorting here, right? You want to look for dips to buy. As this thing starts to squeeze, you don't want to step in front of that locomotive and get run over. That's not a good idea. All right, let's let Bitcoin load. We'll wrap it up, and then I'll be back with you guys tomorrow, and we're gonna launch very, very soon. I'm just kind of getting the final pieces together, which is super exciting. I can't wait. I mean, Bitcoin, we pretty much nailed it to the wall there. I think I said down into 86,000 was really good support, risk on. That was the level. Yeah, look, guys, you didn't get quite to 86, but you almost got there. And if you were looking for that level and you had that level on your charts, you had a great buying opportunity there on Bitcoin. So ended up being a good call. I do think Bitcoin's going to continue to probably try to push higher here. The daily's trending up, even though the weekly here is giving us a little bit of trouble right now with this resistance, it still looks to me like it wants to kind of push a little higher. So I think you got a lot of support still coming in here at 86.6. That's 86,600 right there at the middle, 86,700, middle of the vol pro edge envelope. So a lot of support there. I think it's probably going to continue to be bid on Bitcoin. See if the euro can pick up some support. See if NASDAQ and ES can kind of keep steadily squeezing. Looks like risk on for now until Trump, you know, levies some more tariffs on somebody else somewhere. We'll see. I love the Trump markets. A lot of good volatility, a lot of fun trading. All right, you guys, that's it. Please do like, share, subscribe. Join the waiting list at volproedge.com. It's closing down soon. You're going to get discounts on the live room and the course and the end of day analysis and all this kind of stuff. Founders, we have one spot left. So if you want that, you know, DM me on Discord, link in the description if you want to join the Discord. The founders group is going to be awesome. I've had a lot of questions. Basically, as a founder, what you get is lifetime access to the indicators, no monthly fees, access to the end of day analysis, the detailed end of day analysis, the live trading room. You get all that with the monthly membership too. It's just that, you know, you have to pay each month. But to be honest, it's about the same price as an eval somewhere to join my room, and then you can be passing evals and getting payouts. It's like it's a no-brainer, guys. But the founders, they just get all that without having to pay for it monthly and without ever having to think about it again. And then you also get one-on-one consultation from me. I'm going to help you personally customize your trading plans based on who you are, your experience level, your lifestyle. You know, what are your favorite markets? We're going to have monthly founders meetings where we jump on Zoom, all of us. It's limited to 10 spots. We got one left. So we jump on Zoom, we talk, Q&A, go over your guys' trading plans. We all, we hear what this guy's doing over here and everybody else gets to hear it and my input. And then what's this guy doing over here? So it's the Founders Club. It's just a lot more personal attention. And I could only do 10 of those because of the time commitment necessary to really give my all to those 10 people. But for those of you who can't afford that, I get it. The monthly is going to be awesome. It's going to be way, way, way underpriced for the amount of value you're going to get. And you can still just, with the monthly membership, I mean, you could just kill it if you study what I'm teaching you and then apply it like I'm going to show you in the live trading room every single day. And then in Discord, everybody who becomes a member going to be kicking around ideas like, oh, I learned this from the course. Did you guys see this? Oh, this is my idea from the trading plan. And yeah, I'm going to help you guys out too. And I'm going to chime in. It's just that Founders is a little more personalized, because some people wanted that. Anyways, guys, that's it. Enjoy your evening. I'll be back tomorrow. And I'll see some of you in Discord later today. If I decide to put on a trade, I will let you know. Take care and hope all's well.